I'm gonna take a break. I know we just started, but you're already too much for me, man. I know we go way back. With that shit you pulled, that would test anybody's friendship. Our friendship. So I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna let you just sit here and think about it. I think you're being pretty harsh, bro. We grew up together, so I get a little... I get a little grace, man. We played chess together when we were kids. Don't make me out to be some kind of angel. You know who I am. You know what I do. I know what you say that you do. Whether you actually do that or not is another thing. You gonna kill that bug? Maybe. Is it bugging you? Yeah. Let's see if I can find it. Step on it. Bet you don't care about that, do you? Dude, it's a fucking bug. It's annoying. It's one of those loud bugs. Kill it. So what got you so homicidal? Just careful, man. That's a loaded word. Homicidal. No, it's called self-defense. It's self-defense, man. Don't make me out to be some homicidal guy. You're the self-stylized vigilante, aren't you? You know, as well as I know. There is no relying on the law around here. I am the law. You're the law. I'm the law. You're the law and you're a vigilante. Going out there and wreaking havoc on poor citizenry. Innocent people. You ever really thought this through? You thought this through. What happens if we're not out there doing what we do? Well, I suppose the police would just take care of everything. Oh man, you haven't learned anything, have you? Police aren't taking care of anything. Police are making sure that nothing is taken care of. You're still not seeing it. So what are you gonna do, man? I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. Till the perfect opportunity arises. And then we'll strike. And then you're gonna see a self-stylized vigilante. I like the way you put that. That's good. That's good. You know, you're literate. You are a literate man. I'm literate too. We're both literate, but the game recognizes the game. You know, you get so many rationalizations. You shouldn't be doing what you're doing. You're terrifying the people on the streets, where you're walking around like that with your tattoos. Black leather jacket. He's terrifying people. Yeah? Something's wrong with that. Why people want to go around feeling fear. You could do something about that. Maybe I want them feeling fear. Maybe this entire neighborhood needs to feel fear so that they can stay in line. If that little bug up there was feeling fear, then we wouldn't be having problems. Now, would we? But the bug is doing its own thing. The bug is out of line. The bug doesn't feel any fear when I'm near. The bug doesn't feel any fear when I walk down the street. The bug is just dumb. Please, people. At least they're smart enough to fear me. I lost track. Why do you want them to fear you, man? Because I got vision for what this neighborhood could become. Every neighborhood's got a boss. Every boss instills fear. You talked to Mom and Dad about it? No. you should. No. They're my adoptive parents. They're your real parents. I'm not going to talk to my adoptive parents about taking over the neighborhood, instilling fear in people. They're just going to fucking say no to that. You know that. I can hear him now. Pops. You're telling me I should probably take a different approach. Well, you gotta go bossing people around, man. I thought I raised you to be a better man than that. Yeah. Well, Dad, let me tell you something. I'm happy that you've adopted me. But even though I was your adopted son, you still used threats to get me to be in line, didn't you? Yes, I did, son. No different than getting this neighborhood in line. Well, why do you think that this neighborhood needs to be in line? Why can't it just be left alone? Because what you don't see, what I see, it's just crazy. Crazy. People are just walking around like zombies. I mean, these are people I've known my whole life, and yet they're dead inside, Dad. At least that fear is gonna jumpstart them. Well, son, I mean, I could see your point about jumpstarting them, but it's a miserable life, living in fear. Is it, though? Do you live in fear, Pops? I do. Yeah. What do you live in fear of? I live in fear that I won't be able to pay the bills, take care of your mama. Right. That fear motivates you to give it your best. Make sure that you show up every day. Now look at this neighborhood. People aren't afraid and they're not showing up the best every day. I want to take care of that. I want to do that as a gift. I want to instill fear in the hearts of everybody in this neighborhood and recognize that I am the boss. But no one's gonna get hurt. He was calling me homicidal. He called me homicidal. I'm not homicidal. I get enraged. I am a vigilante. I do pop people off now and again when they cross my paths and disrespect me. But I'm not gonna do that to these people that I've grown up with. That would not be civilized. I don't hurt people first, Pop. Only when they cross me. Well, son, just speaking as your mother, you've always had a temper, you know. So I'm afraid that if you take over the neighborhood, people are just going to be so afraid of your temper. And that's not going to be good for anyone. I mean, even your brother's a little bit afraid of you. Mom, I'm not afraid of him. I know you. You're afraid of your brother. He's a little psychopathic sometimes, yeah. But I think that I can handle him. You don't want any of this, do you, man? A little psychopathic, huh? You don't ever want to call a psychopath psychopathic. He might take offense at that. Well, don't you wear it with pride? See, this is what I mean, Ma. He doesn't fear me. He's out of line. I gotta subjugate my own brother. Of course I gotta subjugate the neighborhood. But, listen, all three of you. When I take over as the boss, when I instill fear in the hearts of the neighborhood, you're gonna be proud of this psychopath, this homicidal lunatic. I'm not homicidal, people. I'm not. I just know when people are living below the potential and I gotta shake things up. You, my brother, you are living below your potential. And you may hate me for saying that, but you could be so much more than you are presently, and that's a fact. No, I don't hate you for saying that. Now, you boys need to play nice. Don't get in a fight in here in front of your mom and your father. Do not do that. You two take this outside. No, I'm not going to get a fight in it. I'm not going to fight a psychopath, self-stylized vigilante. I'm not going to do that tonight. I might bust your ass another time my mom and dad aren't around. So how can I, what'd you say, live up to my potential? You don't have fear. That's your problem. You don't got fear. You need more fear. You think that you got time. Brother, you don't have time. You don't have time. You think you've got time. And while you think you've got time, your fucking potential. You were born of a great man. But you, Pop, you're not living your potential either, and that's what you've passed on to your son. Mom, I love you too, but you need to feel the fear. Okay, you're not doing nearly as much as you could be doing. Now, you don't have to do stuff like guys do stuff, Mom. But I'm tired of watching you read the romance novels. Sit down and watching period dramas on Amazon. Come on. You can do more with your life, Mom. And I'm going to instill the fear of God in you. You guys too. The neighborhood starts here at the kitchen table. So you guys, all three of you, tell me if you know what I'm talking about. Tell me if you know what I'm talking about. See, you don't know. You just think I'm crazy. You think I'm a psycho. You just think that I'm a psycho. I'm not. I just want the best for humanity. Everybody I come in contact with, I want the best. Amen. Well, brother, what I really want to know, and I'm sure Mom and Dad want to know too, is How do you know what is best for the three of us and for this neighborhood? And are you going to stop there? Because I could see you just taking this entire mentality to all the neighborhoods. That would not be good. Then you're really going to get in trouble. You're really going to run afoul of the law. Why, are you going to report me? Going to report your brother? No, I love you, man, but I want to make sure that you understand that you're going down a path that's going to cause you trouble. Oh. Uh-oh. As if my current path is not causing me trouble. Okay. It's going to cause you more trouble? What kind of trouble you think I'm gonna run into, brother? Helping human beings realize their potential through fear. Cracking the whip because they're addicted to pleasure. To the dopamine. See, I'm not addicted to pleasure. I'm not addicted to dopamine. I am addicted to excellence. Since we were homeschooled, everybody here knows what I'm about to quote. Oh, God. Yeah. Okay, give us the Aristotle. Excellence. Character is created through habit. Excellence of character is created through excellent habits. If you three need me to crack the whip so that you're not lackadaisical bums, then I'm all too happy to step into that role and make sure you realize your potential on this beautiful planet. And if that gets me called a psychopath, well, I will just kindly defer you to Aristotle himself. I am in select company. Me and Aristotle know, and if 2,300 years have passed, and you people didn't get the memo from ancient Greece, well, it's not my problem, is it? Not my problem. So guys, homeschooling doesn't stop in the 12th grade. You think that the two of us were sufficiently homeschooled, but I don't think so. I am going to turn this entire neighborhood, starting with this household, into homeschooling. We're going to call it neighborhood schooling. And yes, as illogical as it sounds, I'm going to use fear to get people in line. And yes, it's my vision that's going to trump everybody else's vision in this neighborhood. Does that make me a psychopath? No. It makes me a visionary. Visionary. So what's it gonna take? What's it gonna take for you three to come around? Do I need to bring out the... Do I need to bring out the you-know-what? Man, I don't even know what you're talking about when you say the you-know-what. And I'm not sure Mom and Dad do either. But if the you know what is what I think it is, do you not see how contradictory your whole philosophy is? Yes, son. As much as you want to change the world, you've got to find a way to change the world in a manner that people can consent to. See, using fear, people don't consent, and how can they actually improve and become an excellence under the crack of a whip? It doesn't make sense. At first, it's just to get them started, until they begin to love the work itself. But son, I don't think they're gonna love the work. Not if you keep on whipping them and keep on threatening them with violence, with death. I'm just gonna say to all of them, starting with you, I will stop threatening when you start adopting excellent behavior, excellent traits, excellent habits. You think I'm a psycho? Look at this neighborhood. You think I'm a psycho? You two are fat, and you are not living your potential. So, guys, call me a psycho, but let's up level, right? I've got to coach you. You're living a life of mediocrity, all of you. You're gaslighting me as a psycho. I'm not a psycho. Even if I have to use violence, the threat of death, and maybe I have to crack some skulls. I don't know. See what it comes to. See how out of line these people are. Then we're homeschooled. We're getting the most out of life. Well, I have lived with your father, and I've raised you two boys, and I have got the most out of life. Yeah, I just don't believe that, Mom. There's more to life than raising two kids and being a doting wife. Why don't you let me decide that? I guess you get bad habits. You don't see the bigger picture. You were meant for more, Mom. No, I wasn't. I'm here telling you that you were. Okay? You need to stop playing around and get serious with your life. Son, I'm in my 60s. Yeah. So what? I am ready to just relax and enjoy the remainder of my life. The twilight of my years with your father, with you two boys. You're not gonna enjoy shit with me, huh? I'm not gonna allow that to happen. You're not gonna sit here and just watch TV all day and play with your tarot cards. It's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. You're not gonna fulfill your potential. So yeah, you're done raising me and him. So you're just gonna hang it up? You're not gonna grow? Son, I have done all the growing I need to do. I've grown with your father, I've grown with you too. What more do I need to do? Well, I can actually think of a great job for you. So you can up-level your skill set. Really? Yeah. I'm gonna up-level your skill set, Mom. I want you to be an accountant for the neighborhood. I want you to keep track of what everybody is spending on everything. How much on groceries, how much on utilities, how much on rent, how much on entertainment. We're going to budget everything for every single household to make sure that they're not spending too much money, living above their means, going into debt, and being slaves. Because how many people in this neighborhood are debt slaves? Are deep in debt with the banks and have spent their entire life exchanging time for money that they just print out of thin air. Let's go! Let's go! You're the accountant, Mom. Son, I just want to enjoy the last 20 years of my life. Yeah, you will. When you figure out how many of these households are financially illiterate, you're going to be teaching them. Now you two clowns, I'm going to think something for you. Son, you're way out of line. You're not going to assign your mom being the accountant of the neighborhood. There are too many families around here besides. No, they're not. There's like 30, 35 families. And they're out just sitting on the stoop. You people are doing nothing. You're bums. You're losers. Let's go. So, you two. I've given Mom a position. What do you want to do? Brother, would you like to be my consigliere? I love it. So you're the boss and I'm your consigliere. Why not? Well, wouldn't Dad be a better consigliere than me? No. I'm thinking you, Dad, will just be the face of the regime and be like the puppet. People will think that you're in charge of the neighborhood, but it's actually me behind the scenes calling shots. What do you think, Dad? Is that really what I'm going to be doing in my retirement? According to you, that's me living my potential. I'm trying to think of a job for you, Dad. You people are so ungrateful. I'm fucking making this neighborhood better. Now, as my consigliere, I want us to discuss, draft out how we're going to present this to the neighborhood. And Dad, you are, of course, welcome to contribute your perspectives. Just because he's my consigliere doesn't mean that you can't offer stuff. That's the puppet. Okay. So I'm a puppet. Yeah, you just have to sit there and just act like you're in control. And we'll get you an earpiece and I'll just tell you what to say if people come up to you and talk to you like you're the boss. How kind of you, son. Yeah, gotta keep up the appearances, Dad. I know you guys think I'm crazy. I know. But I am not crazy. Not crazy. I just feel a lot. And it's clear that you three don't feel as much as me, and that's not about me being superior or judging you too critically, but for so many years, ever since we moved into this neighborhood, I have walked around and just felt pain. And all this unrealized potential. I mean, it's in the house too, but man, when you step outside through that front door and walk around, it's a wasteland. It's gotten so bad that when people like me come in and crack the whip with the threat of violence, we're called psychopaths. No, I'm not a psychopath. I read Aristotle. I'm here to bring virtue. authentic happiness. Bro, I think you're bastardizing Aristotle. I don't know that he would support you using coercion to get people to be excellent and virtuous. It's a fair point. Fair point. But Aristotle isn't alive today to see this. I mean, for all I know, I could be the reincarnation of Aristotle. It's a possibility. I'm not saying it's actually true. But if he were alive today to see this, would he commend me for my approach? One genius to another? What would he say? All I care about is people's happiness. And I am willing to kind of torture them subtly, just a little bit. Instill fear is a better way of putting it. So that they can live the happiest life and fulfill their potential. And if that makes me a bad person, so be it. If that makes me the reincarnation of Aristotle, so be it. Yeah. So, a lot of our work together will just be throwing thoughts around, and as my consigliere, you can just listen. I don't really need your feedback per se. It's just for appearances, because you just don't get it. Alright, well, how am I supposed to actualize my potential and become a better man if you're just sitting there shitting on me like that and saying I don't get it? Like, if I'm supposed to grow and be a better man, you gotta be feeding me positive energy, positive words. It's like, I do want to actualize my potential. Alright, I was a little harsh on you there. Thank you. Yes, you were a little bit harsh on me there. Yeah, I was a little harsh. You make a fair point, consigliere, that if I'm poo-pooing on you incessantly, that you're not going to grow your self-worth, and it doesn't make sense for me to criticize you for not actualizing your potential if I keep talking down to you in a condescending manner. So, consigliere 1, me 0. You got it. But that's what I want. I want this from you. When I'm not ignoring you, and when you're not talking, when you are talking, I want this from you. Okay. So what are we going to do now? We're going to go walk around the neighborhood and start talking to people? Well, I think we need to get some headshots for Dad. And for you, Mom, too. You're going to be the accountant. I'm going to be the enforcer. And when we go out there, you're going to be like my right-hand man. You're going to be like my thug in arms. Now, secretly, you're my consigliere, and secretly, I'm the boss. But what people are going to think is that Dad is the boss. Mom is the queen of the boss, even though she's the accountant. I mean, that's fine. Whatever. And then I'm like the enforcer. I'm the strong arm that goes around and takes people by the scruff of the neck and puts their face down on the curb and threatens them. And you, I think, since you are well-read in Aristotle as well, you can actually quote Aristotle to them when they're down on the curb. And just help them understand what it is that we're doing. And just, give vague threats. Don't give anything too abrasive, you know? You are my right-hand thug. I think this can work. I think this is genius. I think this is like, Are you smelling your fingers again, man? Yeah, I'm smelling my fingers. I'm the boss. I can do what the hell I want. And use some new soap, so it's got the smell that I love, plus the new soap, and it's just like. By the way, the concierge never critiques the boss. So if I'm smelling my fingers, I'm going to smell my fingers as much as I effing want. So, Mom, we're going to put people on a budget. Every household is on a budget. Tell me what you think. Well, son, just supposing that I'm even going to do this, I think we just need to understand how much income each house is making and then have a dialogue with them about not going too much into debt and to actually saving. Okay, Mom, there you go. Absolutely. So what do you want them to save for? What are they going to do with that money? Well, I've been hearing a lot about Bitcoin lately and gold and silver. Exactly. So those are financial assets that accrue value over time. All right? So if they're not just being profligate and wasteful with their income, but actually decide to invest it, then they're going to be better off in the long run. Oh, do you not see what this tyrant is capable of when he approaches things with an open heart? Son, you do amaze me. Yeah, I know, Mom. No, it's not me. It's not me. I'm just a servant. So, Dad, when do you want to make your speech? My speech, son? Yeah. We're going to have a speech for you to address the whole neighborhood. And we're going to have a kind of an intercom system. Every day you're going to give a speech. Maybe it's somewhere around noon. You're going to tell people what? You're doing that thing again with your lip. Yeah, I'm doing that thing again with my lip. Okay, whatever. It helps me think. Dad, every day I want you to make an announcement, it's like a sermon. I want you to bring in all your wisdom. See? You see what I'm doing here? This is me actualizing your potential in your twilight years. You wanted to retire and just go quietly into the night? It's not happening on my watch. Okay? Not happening. Okay, you're going to impart your wisdom, 60-something years of wisdom, to the neighborhood every day around noon. And so you're going to just kind of infuse your energy. So what we're doing is we're giving them great energy, wisdom, but also some motivation from behind. That's the coercion, the physical stuff that I am going to be in charge of doing. I'm going to kick some people's asses. That's just the way it is, because there's going to be some people who don't get on board with this. The people who do, they're not going to need me to kick their ass. But the people who don't, I'm going to have to. Right? Until they're on board. I know. It sounds horrible, doesn't it? Listen, as your mother, as I would say, you have to be careful. Yeah, I know, Mom. I know your favorite quote. Road to hell is paved with good intentions. Yeah, I can't see this. really, son, I can't see this working, because even if we swing into action and have our assigned roles, people are going to resist. Yeah, Mom. That's why I'm the strong arm. We have to find a way to get around their resistance. I mean, I don't want to beat everybody up. I mean, I might be a little bit fun. There's some people in the neighborhood who could use a good cudgeling. It's true. These people. Why am I the villain? When you three understand, I'm gonna be the hero. Yeah, we're gonna expand. Because you can't just stop with the neighborhood. Whether I'm concerned, because you are definitely gonna get in conflict with the other bosses, the other dons of the other neighborhoods. And I fear for your life, man, because you're so hot-headed sometimes. No, I'm gonna work with them. I've got time. I'm gonna work with all the bosses. And yeah, I'll bring a peace to the negotiations for sure. I'll bring a peace. I'll make sure it's visible. There's an art to negotiation. But I'll basically share the assessment of our neighborhood, and then I'll just challenge them. I'll say, okay, a couple of weeks from now, you will meet up again with me. I'll even buy you dinner, because my neighborhood is so prosperous. I'll just buy you dinner. And at dinner, you're going to tell me. You're going to give me the stats on your neighborhood. And you're going to see they're vastly inferior to my neighborhood. Our neighborhood, but mostly mine now. Because I'm the one who's in control. And guys, don't think that I'm actually a control freak, that I'm just some domineering prick who wants to boss people around. I do have a gift for that. But someone's got to be in control. Someone. Because if someone's not in control, everybody just wastes their life away. Yeah, son, but that's the problem, because you think that you know what's best for everyone. No, I could be wrong. But at least I'm trying. And when I go up to all these people and I challenge them to live actualized lives, right? To develop their potential, and I tell them exactly what I think that is and what they should do with their lives, down to the T and the dotted I, they can tell me to fuck off, and I might punch them for that. But if they tell me to fuck off and then lay out what it is they need to be doing, then I'm going to have my consigliere write that down. And then that person is going to be held accountable for their vision of their life. Next time I see him, which will probably be a week, I'm going to make the rounds. Yes, sir, indeed. I will make the rounds to make sure everybody in this neighborhood is living up to their potential. You'll see. I wish we had this conversation on video, because someday I'm just gonna say I told you so. Any questions? Yeah. What is it, Dad? What does this neighborhood look like in 5 years when you're the boss? No crime. Every household is out of debt, has great savings and actual assets, so they're becoming more prosperous by the week. There's love between husband and wife, parents and children, between children, different families. They all know each other. They all support each other. There's a local economy. Exchange of goods and services, local, grassroots, organic food, homeschooling. People aren't just brainwashed by all the stuff they see online or on the news. It's because I carry a big stick. Once you realize the logic is irrefutable. People need a stick at first because they're so drunk on pleasure and dopamine. They don't even know that they have all this potential. You two wanted to sit there and freaking sail into the sunset. No, you got 20 more years of work inside you. Chop, chop. We're not here to play small. We're not here to play safe. Not on my watch. So, Dad, you're gonna make a speech. We're gonna broadcast it on a kind of intercom system. It's gonna be like those testing alarms that go off at noon with those big sirens. You know, the ones that say this tornado's coming or whatever. You're gonna use that. You're gonna spell it all out. You're gonna talk about the coercion. You're gonna let them know that we're not gonna go out and just cudgel people unnecessarily. And it's kind of a last resort. Maybe not exactly last, but you know, we're gonna talk to people first. And we're gonna gently insinuate that if they don't do exactly what we want them to do, there will be consequences. But that's something you're going to be drilling them with every single week during your sermon. They're slaves. You three are slaves, no offense. I can't believe you just called me a slave. You just called your mom and dad a slave. Yeah, you're all slaves. Again, I'm not meaning to be offensive to either of you three, but you want to whittle away your life? And then someone comes in and says, and then you just resist? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? We're running out of time, guys. Well, son, what are we running out of time to do? I've just been laying it out for you, Pops. We're running out of time to implement this agenda and resurrect this neighborhood and become a shining star, a light on the hill for all the other neighborhoods. It starts here. This is ground zero for improving the world. I have thought this through. I'll have you know. I have thought this through. If I were to go up to everybody in the neighborhood, all 30 families, and lovingly try to persuade them, cajole them, exhort them to become better people and actualize their potential. They would nod their heads in agreement, I'm sure, most of them. Others would laugh me out of the house. But then nothing would happen. You and I, we all know this. I thought it through. Other people don't think it through, and then they call the people who think it through psychopaths. I'm a psychopath because I've actually taken the logic to the end of the line. Yes, it is a cold, hard logic, but what's the alternative? Yeah. The alternative it was just a nosedive into hell. Because you know what? You know what, guys? Again, like I said, I've thought it through. The reason you're mediocre, the reason this whole neighborhood and all the surrounding neighborhoods are just filled with bums, violence. That's the reason. You're all passive because of the omnipresence of violence. You're lethargic because violence is a constant pressure. Boot on your neck. And so I just pluck it out of the woodwork and say, boop, here it is. Coercion. Using coercion to make my neighborhood better. What a crazy ass idea. Where did I come up with this one? But 5 years from now, we're gonna be the golden age. So yeah, I might throw some people around and do worse. Well, there's gonna be a statue of me right down in the park over there. And I think a boss of every neighborhood should have a statue if they've done the work and if they've done it for the people. Well, son, that's right when you start talking about statue, I'm just questioning your motives. Do you really just want this as a form of self-aggrandizement? Is this an ego thing for you, an ego trip? No, Mom. No. I've been thinking about this for a long time. I can't stand the fact that everybody's suffering. It eats me up. And I thought to myself, well, if I have to kick people's asses to make them happy, okay. I'll be the fall guy. You guys get it yet? Well, son, your logic is very strange, but it's also hard to refute. There's the puppet People are gonna come to me, and I'm gonna be super nice and sweet. I can see it now. It's like I'm at a lemonade stand, pouring lemonade, dictating the program. It's gonna be sugar-free lemonade, Dad. Of course, son. We don't want people addicted to sugar now, do we? No, we don't. So just be careful what you're suggesting. Make sure that it's healthy for the neighborhood. Sugar-free lemonade it is, son. Go on, Dad. I don't remember what I was saying. People were coming up to you and you're being nice and being avuncular. Yes. But I do know, I see what you're saying, I understand your point. That niceness isn't going to change anything. And if they don't change, they're just slaves forever. Right. You're going to make a great puppet. Thank you, son. I appreciate you choosing that role for me as a way to actualize my potential in my twilight years before I go and meet my maker. You're welcome. Happy to serve. Yeah, we're gonna have a little good cop, bad cop thing going on. What I want them to understand is that even if they think that I'm being a little bit too physical, there's unimaginable violence that's causing them to be so mediocre. It's systematized, systemic violence that is normalized. It's the actual fabric of their socio-economic reality, of their cultural identity. Oppression. They gotta get violent with themselves. Son, I have such a hard time hearing you talk about that. Violent with themselves. That's not the way. People should learn to love themselves. I agree, Mom. But sometimes loving yourself requires a certain bit of violence to yourself. Mom, it's the masculine way. Well, I don't think it's either masculine or feminine, honestly. It is. And what's happened is that all these people who have become so mediocre and they're debt slaves, they've been feminized. By which I mean they're just overly identified with their feelings. The capacity to do anything noble completely eroded, atrophied with time. That's the violence, guys. That's the violence. So eventually you're going to have to understand how I'm thinking about these things, because I've gone deeper than all of you. And again, that's not me being an asshole. I've just gone deeper. People need to understand that loving themselves might require a certain bit of violence to themselves so that they get out of the swamp. We're talking about saving souls here, and we're not using anything so exalted as religion or spirituality or some fundamentalism. Just like Aristotle. I am here to save souls.